What did Trump do right after? Bullet hits his ear, puts his fist in the air, defiant. Obviously, this is a very much unannounced live. Give a few minutes for a couple people to get in. It's Saturday, and just out getting Gatorade and stuff. I need to shave off a few pounds because I'm going to be writing a book, doing some other stuff with more media, and the camera adds more than 10 pounds with me, so I'll give it some time here for some alerts to get out. Trump was like, yes, blood coming out. I'll say this for those of you who are watching this, after the video drops, rather than waiting, when Trump does that, right? Trump, now whether you like Trump's policies or not, now his reforms are real, because they wouldn't have tried to JFK the dude. What's up, locale hunters R Us? I like that name. So they wouldn't have tried to JFK the dude if he was just gonna go ahead and do what they wanted. They always approach these guys that run for office behind the scenes, and they gauge whether they're gonna do what, to what extent they're gonna cooperate with the powers that be, right? The real powers that are around in our country, and really the other Western countries too. Canada, the European nations. What's up, Wes? What's up, Deadly and Westy Show? Trump. They tried to JFK Trump, but he took one to the air and freaking put his fist up in the air to show defiance. But look, they only do that to dudes that they actually cannot control. Whether people like his reforms or not, or what he believes in or not, the fact of the matter is that if he was one of the ones, as long as Trudeau needs to be removed from office, but not that way. Trudeau has got to go. If I lived in Canada, I would definitely be voting against him. Literally any other party that there could be. But basically, though, they wouldn't be doing that to Trump and trying that with him if he was some dude that was going to be doing the agenda that the real powers that be, the money interests, the CIA, the FBI, basically the intelligence services and the money interests that pay for the politicians and blackmail the politicians too. A lot of times they'll catch these guys and, with video footage of them doing things with kids, like that whole, that one island, that one guy used to run, and then he got, he got arrested, then he mysteriously dies in jail. I can't even say his name on YouTube without getting in big trouble. If they can't control the dude, then this is what they go to. And so, yeah, it rhymes with, there's a Stein or a Steen in the guy's name, right? So when they can't control a dude, the last resort is that right there. It's just a fact. That's what they did with JFK. They weren't so sure about Reagan in his early days, which is why they tried it with him. But Reagan, had some reforms, but he towed the line enough for them. But JFK definitely say the N-word. Okay, I'll say N-word. I'll say it. N-word. N-word. I just said N-word. You told me to say N-word. I'm saying N-word. And I said it I said N-word multiple times. Hit the like button since I said N-word. But really though, whether you like the dude or not, he's a real one, because if he was just towing the line like what the higher ups, the real powers that be that run this whole show wanted, or at least enough of it, their agenda, they wouldn't do that. They would be like, they would have already approached him by now and been like, hey, look, we know you don't agree with everything and blah, blah, blah. But, we can work with you. They obviously can't work with him. They can't control him at this point. And on top of that, he's been in there before. Thank you, Ty. You are, and now I have 2 likes. I like that. Well, we keep it going. Let's get 3. Let's maybe see 5 of them, right? Be like, hey, I'll be like some dudes where I'm not going to say my story, or I'm not going to do the show if I'm only getting $5 today in super chats. Start whining like certain people. What's up, J802? What's up, Ty? What's up, Slim Mac Daddy? Yes, that's right, Slim. What's up, Hotel S? Yeah. Lolcow, of course. Deadly and Westy Show. What's up, Corman Kid? Yeah, baby. What's up? But they, look, whoever did that, you're going to find, I bet you anything, it's going to be some dude who's psychotic, but who happens to have family that works for the CIA or some intelligence agency. You mark my words. It's what they all, or they'll find out that he's like 1 or 2 steps away from some dude in the intelligence world. And, that's what's going to, mark my words. That's exactly, that's what they're going to do. They were aiming though. And if you notice, Trump was turning his head, right, in his speech. Had he not turned his head while giving his speech, it grazed his ear. It would have been it would have been a perfect shot for those who were, looking to get rid of him. And, it's now a situation where he's going to get even more popular. And, yeah, and you know what? He got his street cred, too, by the way. If he didn't have street cred before, look, Trump's got street cred now. He's taking a bullet now. I mean, the dude is taking a bullet now. And, completely unexpected. This isn't something that could be staged, yeah, exactly. Exactly. If he's a patsy, you know what time it is. It's going to be patsy time with all this, right? So if Trump was really like going along to get along, or if he was the kind of dude they thought they could work with, even if they didn't agree with him on everything, they would have approached him behind the scenes and said, look, you're going to whoop Biden. We know this. It's going to be like 330 electoral votes, maybe more. You're going to get him in multiple states. You're going to win. You're going to run the table. You're probably going to flip Nevada back to the Republican side. You're going to flip You're going to flip Virginia back. You're going to flip other states, and you're going to bring in a bunch of Republicans with you in Congress and state houses. So we need you guys. We need you to do certain things for us, and it's just it's where Zero Hedge is a pretty good outlet actually for news. It's one of the, and by the way, if this had happened to Joe or Obama, I'd be saying similar things, because the political garbage has to come to an end when it comes to this kind of stuff. I think that Bush and some of these other guys are war criminals, to be honest with you. Some of the stuff they did in Iraq, the illegal stuff they did overseas. However, there's a proper place for that kind of stuff. You try them in front of the Hague. You try them before a tribunal. And then you sentence them after they've had a chance to defend themselves. That's the proper way that you handle rogue, guys that violate the law. I don't think Trump even started a single war during the time he was in office. In fact, I think he was winding things down for some of these people, which might be why they want to go after him, because a lot of these guys, quite frankly, they profit off of making wars. Every time there's a war, what happens? Machinery gets destroyed. It has to be replaced. And that means big government contracts in the billions upon billions in many cases. And what happens in wartime? People, they get a reason to advance new technology, and then they use that technology against the mob or against cartels, against crime in general. What's up, Westies? What's up, cops? What's up, Corpsman? What's up, Big Hair? Yeah, thank God he is okay. Relatively okay. He took one to the ear. But, you know, what do they do, though? Every time there's a war, they make a fortune. That's just the fact. They don't like it when presidents in these wars. They don't care. Here's the truth, okay? And this is not something real easy for patriotic Americans in general to swallow, but the truth is most of our government doesn't care whether we win these wars or not. They just want them to be prolonged and want them to happen. And it's been that way going back to pretty much Korea and maybe Vietnam, you know, at the latest. If it were up to them, then they would be, you know, there would still be garrisons coming up, you know, there would still be kids garrisoning up to Vietnam if it wasn't for, you know, Nixon getting us out of that war. You know, it's the truth. That's how it is in America, in the Western world. Our government isn't there to win any of these wars. They're there to start them and to keep them going because they make a fortune off of material being destroyed, and it's a way to control the population too. And there's a lot of other benefits for the higher ups. They can get rid of subversive. They can get rid of anybody who's reform-minded by simply putting them into the war zone, and then they, you know, you know. Oh, the CIA got my phone. The CIA took me out for talking about this. That's right. I got nailed. The CIA got me. They took me out. I can't, I'm not allowed to talk about this, so, all right, look. See, now you know why you gotta have a Rumble account, everybody. Because you start talking about too much of this stuff, and what do? All of a sudden, your phone has a problem, right? You gotta, you know, now, if I had been saying, like, you know, Joe Biden is the greatest president ever, you know, my numbers would boost through the roof, right? You know, but yeah, so they, good old YouTube, good old, you know, it is what it is, right? So anyways, but look, the point is that these guys don't like him, obviously. The people that have real power in America and the Western world, and I used to work in politics back in the day, and I left politics for many reasons, this being one of them. But the reality is, it's the money people and, you know, the guys in the intelligence services, etc. They're the ones who run the show. And so they run the show so big that when a dude like me wants to even talk about it for a couple minutes, they have to shut down my stuff. Now, you know, he's going too far, you know, he could red pill like 45 people possibly. You know, that's who's in my chat now. You know, but yeah, it's just, look, again, now there's 60 people in my live, right? You know, they had hit my numbers down by, you know, blocking my phone because I said too much apparently. So I guess I'll have to, you know, I gotta, you know, Joe Biden is the greatest president ever. His mind works perfectly. He doesn't have any old age issues at all. And his policies, he has caused inflation to go down. Ever since he got in, Joe Biden has caused inflation to go down. And let's see, what else has he done for us? He did a great withdrawal from Afghanistan, and it went extremely well. He gave the Taliban $80 billion worth of our equipment because they deserved it and they need it. You know, and he opened up our borders because, I mean, after all, America needs more people, right? There's so much land here and there's so many jobs for all Americans. There's more jobs than there are people here. And we have such high wages in America now, you know, that we need to have like 5 to 10 million people from the third world in our country just flooding over overnight. And our cities can afford it. You know, our cities can afford the welfare payments for them. You know, we could, look, Joe is the greatest president ever. Well, besides President Obama, of course, you know, because we got to remember that, you know, Obama was, you know, he was the first black president. We got to give it up to him. But after him, then it's Biden, and then you know, and Hillary Clinton. She should have been president in 2016. Hillary Clinton would have made for a great female president. Okay, all right. You know, you guys get the picture. But anyhow, so look, obviously they don't like the dude, and that's why that happened, right? There's no other way to explain it, right? And so that lets you know the dude is a lot realer than, you know. Hey, again, you don't have to agree with every single thing, you know that he thinks personally, because whatever he believes in, they don't like it. The people that really run the show don't like it at all. So that's a good sign, actually, in my world. Hey, you know, that's a sign that if they don't like him, that's good. And you know who's to blame for this kind of stuff? These derangement clowns. The rhetoric they put out, you know. Yeah, well, the thing, bulletproof, yeah, exactly. The Biden stuff was obviously being facetious, as it's pretty obvious, no, you know, right? But yeah, the military folks, all those kinds of guys, they don't like that wars come to an end. They hate peace. You know, the left used to be all about peace back in the day. The hippie movement, that was all left-wing stuff. Now, most of these people from the left, or the alleged left, they've sold out. They don't believe in that stuff. They believe in, they take their money from the same weapons manufacturers that anybody else does, that these neocons do. So, you know, it is what it is. But look, they don't like him, obviously. And if he was doing what he was told, this wouldn't happen. So that lets you know, at least you got a real one with this guy. And, you know, whereas the other people are just puppets and fakes across the board. And it's just the reality of it. You know, so, but I blame this on these derangement people. You get these clowns, including some in the mob genre, who do these shows and they just yap and yap and yap against Trump, angry for whatever reason. Some dudes don't even live in our country and they're mad at him. And it's like, bro, pay attention to your own land. You know, your own land is all screwed up. There's dudes that frickin', they just yap and yap and yap. You know, I almost never talk about politics, and I actually worked in the fucking field at one point. I can say that I actually worked in politics back in the day, you know, with my college degree. You know, I did campaign work and stuff like that. I got sick of it, to be honest with you, because all the fakery and bullshit, I couldn't handle it. So many of them are just fake. They really are. They're full of shit. And they do whatever the money people tell them to anyway. So that's just how it works. So, but anyhow, these derangement people, Maxine Waters, Hillary, and these others that started this crap in 2016 are to blame for this stuff, because they started all this rhetoric of, you know, become ungovernable. They were talking about, there was actors and actresses yapping about fantasizing about going to the White House and doing stuff like that. You know, they were talking about how like, you know, they were doing that kind of stuff. And then and then what they do, they were looting and burning cities to the ground in the summer of 2020. Even before that, they were starting that stuff. You know, I live in the West Coast, and I saw how these Antifa clowns would start up stuff in cities, and they were like totally, you know, look what they did with Portland. Portland used to be this really beautiful city, right? For being a well-known American city and all that, Portland is a really good-looking place. It was nice and clean and vibrant and all these good things, right? Seattle was actually a pretty good place too. Now they're both turning into trash heaps. They're turning into complete dumps. San Francisco used to be somewhat cool. 30 or 40 years ago, it was way better than it is now. Now everything's closed up, and there's fentanyl addicts and rainbow flags everywhere. Woo, that's really an improvement. No business community at all. Most of the businesses are closed. No jobs for the kids that live there. None of that, but they get to see a bunch of rainbow flags on every fucking sidewalk now. And they get to see fentanyl addicts puking their guts out, dying on those rainbow flags. Really good. LA, 1/3 of LA has been turned into a complete dump too. LA used to be way cool in the 80s and 90s, but it's not like that no more. You got areas that are cool, and I like certain areas, but then there's other parts where it just freaking is just, again, it's turned to crap. And they've done it in Chicago. They've done it to New York. They've done it to all our big cities. And they all have certain things in common. But you know what? The derangement people that started the crazy rhetoric, they're the ones to blame for this bullshit. You know, they are to blame for what happened today. Any of these clowns that are around here, and you'll hear them again, like I said, there's clowns in the mob genre who don't even belong in it because they didn't know shit about it. They had nothing to do with it. Their daddy used to drive them around it or whatever, or their auntie used to, slurp up mob dick, just whatever the fuck it is that they claim they did or had done. They have no business, and they don't even talk about it anyways in most cases. They don't talk about the mob or organized crime. They don't do none of that shit. But these clowns, a lot of that same group that pulls the trolling bullshit and the e-begging bullshit and all that, what do? What do? They freaking push the rhetoric of that stuff. So again, political violence is bad across the board. Don't take it out on Biden. Don't do stuff to Obama. Don't do stuff to Bush. Any of these people. The way that, if you really think that these guys have violated laws, which I think some of them have, especially war crime stuff, Iraq and what Obama did to Libya and, what he did to Gaddafi over there, along with the French and the English. There's certain things that these guys have done, but they've always done it in the name of the CIA and these other clowns and blah, blah, blah. And, but there's a lawful way to try these guys. You don't try them this way from some crowd, whatever. The way you handle any unlawful presidents, prime ministers, members of Congress, and blah, 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 is you try them before a court, a tribunal. What they did to the you-know-whats after World War II, what they've done to other guys, communist leaders in the 1990s that got overthrown in Eastern Europe, were placed in front of tribunals. And then their people put the evidence before of their tyranny, and then they had them afterwards as a part of the punishment. So, but definitely the source of these problems are the scumbags that put out this rhetoric when Hillary Clinton could not accept that she lost. That's the source of it, period. What's up, J802? Take it easy, bulletproof, take it easy, Rod RR, LBM, blah, blah, blah. Cold Thrills. And, yeah. What's up, you guys? Yeah, so, yeah, I guess they didn't re-censor my stream all of a sudden, but, all right, I'm going to bounce out. I got to go to the gym and stuff. I got to start getting into some better shape. I'm in, okay shape now, but I'm going to be on podcasts, and I got to take, professional level pictures with my book and the other stuff that's happening. And I'm going on a big show with over 1 million subs in 3 weeks, by the way. 2 weeks, actually. 2 weeks from now, I'm going to be on a channel with over 1 million subs. And Anthony Arlotta's been on this channel. And there's some other ones that I'm chatting with. So I got to start actually paying attention again to, the appearance stuff and all that. And not just have a dad gut sitting out here. All right, Jeff McClendon. Yeah. All right, you guys. Take it easy. Everybody who joined, thank you. Unannounced live, but then again, that was a pretty unannounced event. Figured I'd say what's up. I'm glad that he appears to be okay. And under no circumstances should anybody be doing that to anybody in office like that. The proper way to handle criminals in office is to have them tried before a tribunal and things like that. And really, the ones that should be tried are the war criminals. And you could throw in the CIA, about one half of them, and I'd say at least 1/3 of the FBI probably belongs in that group too. You know, there's certain folks in that whole community that definitely need to be looked at, because there's some criminal stuff that they do at high levels. So that's right, Rod. You know what? It's unfortunate that we live in a world now where so many people are distracted from real issues. They fight over really petty issues when it comes down to it. And then the real criminals get away. And, you know, it is what it is. But a lot of these guys in office are just front men, in my opinion, anyways. The real criminals are the guys behind the scenes that pay for the campaigns and pay for the bad policies and promote the bad policies that cost us a fortune and destroy our country. We're a constitutional republic with certain aspects of democracy. Obviously, when you vote in a local election, that's more democracy because it's usually a majority wins. But we are a constitutional republic at the federal level, and we should never forget that. So bless you all. Good to see that the former president is doing good, and everybody needs to condemn this. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you.